Coach, I'm sure you have heard of the national honor for Joseph Tugler. How much work has gone into
What was it?
the Lefty Driesell National Defensive
Oh, yeah.
Player of the Year?
Yeah, I did hear
What kind of work has gone into that for him? What kind of honor is that for him as a player?
Well, he's not playing by himself. I mean, he's part of a team defense. I mean, we have the #1 rated, statistically rated defense in the country. And probably the most important part of our defense is our coverage calls. You know, obviously he had no idea what that stuff was before he got here. But JoJo's a great student. He's a great listener, and you know, one of the keys of coaching is learning how to coach each individual, because they all don't learn the same way, whether they comprehend things the same way. But JoJo is a quick learner. Our coverage calls and how we defend pick and rolls, we're blessed that we have two guys that are high level, and JoJo and Javier. JoJo's ability to recover from one action and then block a shot at the rim on another action. I'm still amazed. I don't know if you guys remember certain plays during the year, because I don't know how much you guys watch individual stuff, but we're playing Kansas State in Manhattan, and we had a breakdown, and Joe came up to help, and the Kansas State kid, I don't remember who it was, made a pass to the basket. Gassan, I think that was his name, their center, gets the ball and got a clear dunk. I'm not even sure JoJo was even in the picture yet. But the next thing you know, JoJo's at the rim knocking it out. And I'm sitting there going, how many people in the world can do that? You know, I mean, he does things, but I watch him do that stuff in practice. Never takes a possession off. Just a joy to coach, hard worker, tough. You know, guys aren't good because they have long wingspans. There's a ton of guys that's got longer wingspans than Joe don't even get to play. You know, it's not your statistics or your measurements that make you good. Oh, of course he's good. He's got a 7'6" wingspan. That has nothing to do with how it starts. It's his heart and his brain and his toughness and how he competes. Now his wingspan can help him.
Kelvin,
Your family on staff, your players, your former players, how much is family a theme for this program?
Well, I think it's why everything around here stays as is. You know, it's not to say we're not going to have kids transfer. Of course you are in this day and age. Guys are going to transfer now more than ever for a lot of reasons. Some good, some bad. Of course, I've learned never to overreact to any of that stuff. But as far as family, you know, when I got here in 2014, the first person I hired was Kellen, 14-15. Then the next season, I think the next season, I hired Lauren. Hollis and Quanis was my starting backcourt at Oklahoma. Recruited Hollis when he was 16 years old, and he's still with me. He's I guess he's like my son. Quanis, you know, I've known Quanis since 1997 or 98. We're thrilled about his new opportunity. You know, Casey and I go way back to our coaching the Canadian senior national team. Matt was a manager. Daniel Hickson, who's now with the Spurs, was a manager. Bilal Batley was a manager. I just like to keep things in house. I have I have a lot of confidence in how we do things, and how we do them is the way we do them. It's not up for negotiation or discussion. Either like it or you don't, and we don't really carry it away. We're just how we do it. But our family is what binds us together. The person that probably doesn't get enough credit is my wife Karen. You know, she's been my head coach for 45 years, and she knows how to coach me. She's good at it. Don't blink, ask her.
Kelvin, how will the maturity and focus of this particular group help in, you know, this kind of setting?
Yeah, I mean, it starts with everything we do. How we do anything is how we do everything. You know, from the first day we got into the Big 12, our goal was to win the next game. Didn't matter to me who it was, you know, but that's just the way we operate here. Unless you're inside here, you may get surprised, but we don't. Who's our next game? Our next game, our first Big 12 game was West Virginia at home. We played the way we play. The outcome was the outcome. As the season wore on, we just did what we do. You know, we don't say, well, this game's more important than the other. I notice other people do, but we don't, because I don't. Every game to me is a game you can lose, so that's the most important game. Playing, you know, when the season ended, I think our record was 27-4. And then we go play 3 games in the Big 12 tournament. The outcome of those games is what I thought they would be. We didn't play a game in a tournament I didn't think we could win. I thought we would win those games. Then we got into the NCAA tournament. We played SIUE. I thought if we played well, we could win that one. Then we played Gonzaga. Same thing. I thought if we played well, we could win it. And then now we go to, where did we just come from? Indianapolis. We played Purdue. Same thing. I thought if we played well, we could win it. And then we played Tennessee. Same thing. You know, we don't put high importance, low importance, medium importance. They're all important. SIUE scout report was no different than Tennessee's. But that's how we operate inside our cocoon here. And then, so everything kind of stays as is. You know, I've developed a system. You know, when I first got all the assistants here, I had to teach them how, this is how we want to do things. But that's the value of having smart assistants that's loyal. They care about our kids' individual development and their individual success. They care about the success of the program. And so our next game is Saturday night against Duke. We're going to do the best we can to prepare for that game, and we're looking to play well in that one too.
Elvin, I wondered, could you talk about what LJ Pryor has meant to your team and the unique opportunity he has to win a national championship with a second school?
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that, but I can tell you about LJ. I think the maturity level of our team has a lot to do with him because of his maturity. LJ has a very old soul. There's nothing 21 or 22 years old about him. He's a grown man. He comes in every day, does his work. Probably the most important meeting that I've had, I'm constantly meeting with our kids individually. Make sure they understand their roles and what I think they can do better to help our team more in their role. But when we got back from Las Vegas in early December, I had to find a way to get LJ out of his comfort zone. You know, if we're on a bus, LJ, you can't sit in the back with the players. You got to sit up there with the coaches. I mean that figuratively, not literally. I don't want him up there to me. John Houston sits in that seat, and I sit in that seat. No, that's it. But he had to assume some leadership. And leadership means different things to different people. You know, there are certain words in basketball that gets, or any kind of sport, team sport, you throw things around, you really don't understand exactly what it is. But we had a 12-point lead against San Diego State. We had a 6-point lead against Alabama, and we had a 9-point lead against Auburn. We were in a position to win all those games. Now, we weren't ready to win them. You know, one of the things that hurt us back then was Milo's nose surgery. When he broke his nose, he missed 21 days of practice too. Javier missed 21 days of practice, and we've been blessed so far with that. But we started off a little rocky with the injury thing. So I got that. And I wasn't worried about that. But I was worried about going forward. Losing the 3 games, that didn't matter to me. You know, I'll let other people overreact to stuff that's really not that important at that time of the year. But going forward, though, I wasn't going to undersell the need that we needed a leader. You know, I thought the guy that I was most disappointed probably in Vegas was J1 for a lot of reasons, and I told him. But the guy that I thought could step up and do more was L. Number one, he had everybody's respect. Everybody respects LJ. He doesn't take practices off. Once he had to learn how to handle our stuff here. But once he figured that out, you can tell basketball is important to him. But you know, the importance of basketball is not the same to every kid. Don't think this kid loves it like this kid. They don't. That's why you see some kids have short careers, because they're looking to get out. They're tired of it. You know, they went to college, they got a scholarship. You know, I'm on to something else. That's fine. But you know, LJ will try to play as long as he can when he leaves here, because he loves basketball. Basketball is very important to him. But he had to learn to impact our team on the floor. You can't be an innocent bystander. You can't turn around and just look at JoJo. You gotta say something to him. And he had to work at that. So starting the Butler game, that was our first game back from that tournament. You could tell he was trying his way, and I couldn't tell him how to do it. You have to be who you are, you know, and don't worry about trying to be like somebody wants you to be. You're never gonna be any good doing that stuff. But LJ developed into a great leader. He was. Everybody remembers Jamal. But leadership has a lot of different looks to it. You know, it's like the color of a door. Not every door is the same color, but they're all great doors. You know, LJ's leadership style this year was just as good, if not as important as the way Jamal did, or the way Marcus did, or the way Dejan did, or the way Galen did. We've had some great leaders here, and LJ's as good a leader as anybody we've had.
Kelvin, including your time coaching the Rockets, this is the longest time you spent in one city. How has your time here in Houston shaped who you are, and what have you grown to appreciate about the city of Houston?
After being at some of the other places, I love the fact you can go around the city and nobody knows who you are. I really like that. You know, you stop over here and get gas, and a million people can ride by. It's not the way it is everywhere. So, I love Houston. You know, coming over here from the Rockets, I love coaching the Rockets. And then coming over here, you know, it's like buying a house. Buying a house doesn't mean that's your home. Some people have to buy a house because they gotta live somewhere, right? But this is home for us. And I've grown to really love and respect and appreciate this place.
Kelvin, we've asked you this before, but as you make another Final Four trip, it will inevitably come up. Just the early days here, Lauren was saying sometimes that she would hear no from you about going around campus and, you know, recruiting guys, students, Bullhorn. Can you kind of take to what those moments were like when you were starting out?
I don't think I can adequately do it, but I'll try.
Or just, you know, maybe the first time you were in Hopkins for a game and you saw what needed to be, you know.
First time I was in Hopkins was the day of, second time. Chris Finch, who I worked with the Rockets, was the national team coach for Great Britain. And they were scrimmaging Russia. And I came over here and sat with Steve Wojciechowski and Chris Collins, two guys I coached in USA basketball. I just remember the chairs the row I was sitting in, the chairs were all broke. I didn't know any, I knew who Elvin Hayes was. I'd heard of Coach Lewis. I'd heard of Phi Slamma Jamma. But that was 30 years ago at that point. Maybe, yeah, somewhere around there, I guess. Just the, you know, but you gotta look at the leagues I've coached in. I mean, I coached in the Big Ten. I coached in the Big 12 for 12 years. I coached in the Pac-10, Pac-12 as a head coach for 7 years. So none of those places look like this. So my first reaction was the administration doesn't care. If they did, they wouldn't fire the coaches. You know, I don't think that speaks to the what the coaches did or didn't do. I think it speaks more to what the administration did or didn't do. And I remember having those discussions. And those were hard discussions for those people to hear. But if you're going to try to get something, what was the worst thing they're going to do to me? Fire me? That's the worst thing that's going to happen. So I'll go somewhere else. I wasn't the only school that tried to hire me. I'm pretty sure I could get a job somewhere. But if I was going to stay here, they had the people that needed to change the most was not me, it was them. You know, that's where this thing started. So, you know, coaches and players win games, but administrations win championships. You see this place we're standing in? I had to fight them every step of the way on this thing. That was the bus stop right here. And there was dirt and an occasional bush, mostly dirt, another bush, but it just looked like a downtown urban campus that nobody took care of. And we're trying to figure out how to get this basketball program going. I expected the fan support to be what it was, because look at the administrative support. If they don't care, why should the fans care? That's the way I looked at it, you know. But the guy that helped me the most was Mac. You know, Mac really helped, you know. He showed me some plans on what this was going to look like, and I didn't like the plans. I'm not going to tell you everything I said, but I said what. Sometimes you have to say things that need to be said, and the consequences of those words, you have to think through what you're saying, because you know you want to make sure that you're able to still work with these people, but. Nobody cared about basketball here. And I had to change some attitudes. I didn't like the way that ended, because all I did was tell you what it was like when we first started, and I didn't get a chance to finish. So the reason why we've been able to do what we've done here is because President Couture has been a advocate for our program. She's one of the rare presidents that cares about winning. You know, when you're my age, the last thing you worry about is pressure or being fired. I've had a lifetime contract here for a long time. You know, I'll decide when it's time to go, and I'll make that decision independent of anybody else but my wife. But the reason why we've had this success here is because, sure, I pushed, and sure, I was do it my way. And you can interpret that however you want. But I knew that if we were going to win here, we had to get these facilities right. We were in the American Athletic Conference, and if you take the middle of the conference to the bottom, we were at the bottom. We were one of the last ones. Didn't charter, didn't feed the kids, didn't do anything. Didn't have a film room, couldn't take anybody on visits. And I told him that. What Tillman Fertitta, Mac Rose, and Hunter Yurchek, and President Couture. Hunter, Mac, Tillman, and President Couture, and Kelvin. Those 5 people really pushed. The toughest one was we got this built, not delaying the next phase. They thought this was phase 1. There was only one phase. No, there's 2 phases. If we didn't get that Hopkins thing done on the back end of this wasn't going to happen. This wasn't going to be, we'll do it 3 years from now. No, we got to go right now. And the reason why that worked was because of Tillman. Tillman, I sat down and talked to him about leaving a legacy here. And he came, I'm going to get back to you. When he came back, he said, I'm going to give you $20 million, and you're going to have to go raise the rest. That $20 million allowed us to get started. That allowed us to finish the design phase. And we had 3 options. And we sat down and said, this is the best option. And what you see over there was those meetings, putting that blueprint on a desk and said, how about this? How about this? What about this? So when I walked down the tunnel for those games, there was a little bit of a vested interest in that place. You know, 10 years from now, when I come back and look, I'm gonna remember those conversations with Hunter. Mac was at Missouri at the time, but Hunter was a big reason why. I wasn't gonna do this by myself. I had to have an advocate, somebody that could carry the fight for me where it needed to be fought at, which is at the highest level. And that was President Couture. So President Couture, Tillman, Mac, and Hunter. And then when Hunter left to go to Arkansas, this was already going, but Chris came in, jumped on board, and signed off on everything. And then we played our first game in here on December 1st, 2018. That was against Oregon. So quietly, as I was walking out of the locker room, I got just a tinge emotional because I remember where this place was when we got here. You know, and I tell everybody, if you're a fan of our program now, you won't have a really appreciation for this unless you were here in 2014 and saw where we started. And now look where we're going this weekend. Sometimes it doesn't seem possible, but that just shows you what can happen if you have a lot of people that will believe in something. So, you know, the head coach gets most of the blame for everything, as he should. That's why they pay me all that money, right? That's cool. But the credit for this should be shared. You know, our Tillman and President Couture, they've been, once I got my spiel out, once I told them where it was and what needed to be done, they were on board. This does not happen without President Couture and Tillman. On my fourth AD now, second women's coach, fifth football coach. I've been around here a long time. I've seen a lot of people come and go, but the constant that this athletic department has been our basketball program, and I'm proud of that. So I didn't get to finish. I didn't want you to leave with all the negativity. That's like building anything. It always starts tough, and getting people to believe in something that they can't see, but I could see it, and that was the important thing. And then I got them to buy in. So this is our second trip to the Final Four. We've had a ton of success here, and I love this team. I love our mentality every day about work, because making the tournament is hard. You know, if next year the team makes the tournament and we lose the first game, there's going to be a lot of ignorance that's floating around about what happened. That's when you know you've lost perspective, when you don't realize how hard it is to make the tournament. Look at all the teams this year that didn't make it. Look at West Virginia. Look at a bunch of teams. It's hard to make the tournament. You know, forget winning a game or winning 2 games or getting to Sweet 16. That's not something you say, well, we're going to do that every year. No, you start over every year. You're just like everybody else. Everybody has the same opportunity, just like we do. So, but we know that this season's going to end either Saturday or Monday. We're going to do the best we can to take this as far as we can. You guys got any questions?
Speaking of Tillman, he had his Senate confirmation today for Italy.
Did he get grilled?
I don't know, I didn't watch it, but just having him.
Was that like on MSNBC or
C-SPAN or
Fox Sports or C-SPAN?
Just
say Fox, but if he's up there, it's probably Fox Sports.
the just his role where it would take him away from this school, sort of, you know, he's been a big proponent, been a big voice. Is that?
I got his cell phone. Yeah.
Nothing changed.
Yeah, no, not for, well, I mean, I run the basketball program. Tillman doesn't. Tillman just gives me what I need. Yeah. No, I don't. Tillman doesn't know who we're recruiting or who we schedule. He sees it just like you guys do. But as far as people outside this building, no, I run the basketball program. We got a new AD. You know, I've seen him more in the last 2 weeks than I've seen him since the beginning. So I think he's going to do good, though. I think he's going to help this athletic department. As long as President Couture's here, he's got a chance.
Do you let yourself enjoy these runs more now that you?
You know, it's not something for me to enjoy. You know, you know, I had a team at Oklahoma that I thought was the best team in the country the year we went to the Final Four. That was in 02. The next year we were 1 seed, but I didn't think that team was the best team in the country. I thought that team could get to the Final Four, but that Carmelo team in Syracuse was better than we were. So, you know, I've always been honest with myself about that. Baylor was better than us. You know, the next year's team that lost to Villanova, that wasn't one of Bill's best teams. Duke had just lost to North Carolina twice. North Carolina was good, but not unbeatable. I thought if that team got to the Final Four, that team had a chance to win it. You know, last year's team wasn't going to win it because we didn't have JoJo. You know, people talked about Jamal. I never heard anybody talk about JoJo. No, we lost JoJo in end of February, I think, somewhere right before the Baylor game or right after our Baylor game, right around that, I think. So had that team had a healthy JoJo and a healthy Terrence, let's face it, the reason this team is in the Final Four is because of our health. When's the last time we've been healthy? People said, were you disappointed in after the Miami game? Well, I knew why we lost. You know, we weren't going anywhere without Marcus Sasser. This is not, you know, coach don't make no baskets. Marcus Sasser can though. He's pretty good. But this team is, you know, God has blessed us. We've been healthy. So this team, a lot of times that's what it comes down to. If you're good enough, we've been good enough, and that's because we've kept all our players on the court.
Kelvin, I'm not sure if you can ask this already, but what was it like to see Jim Nance at Indianapolis?
Well, I see Jim all the time, and I hear from him all the time. Whatever time I got home one night, Kieran said, you got a box, I don't know what it is. So I went around to the front door, and it was a box of wine from Jim, and his label was called the Calling, C-A-L-L-A-N-G. So he follows every game. Doesn't text me after every game, but like the big wins, he watches every game. So when I saw him there, I think it was Memphis on senior night when Jamal hit that shot at the end to beat them. He and J-Mo, his little boy, came to practice that night. So I had J-Mo come into the huddle, hold hands with the team, and I had Jim come in to lead our breakout. So when I saw him the other day, after we cut the nets down in Indianapolis, I said, "Get up here, Jim Nance. Get up here, man. You're the most well-known Cougar we have. He's a great ambassador for this university. Awesome guy."
Fellas,
I would ask.
do you want to close to the mic? Okay, appreciate it.
This is all happening pretty quickly. Have you guys had a chance to kind of catch your breath, and how important might that time be before you leave for San Antonio, I guess, tomorrow?
I think we started on Duke today. Started film kind of early, but we've had time to, get our bodies right and get out of treatment. And like I said, we already got past Tennessee. We're not worried about that anymore. And going into this game, just like I said, going in knowing the main focus. We got some great guys. It's the reason in the Final Four. Lottery picks, so it's going to be a tough game. But just us having our bodies right 100% and just going into the game and try to play how we did against Tennessee.
Are they player for player the most talented team that you've seen this year or you will face?
On paper, yeah. But we've seen that a lot, especially when we played against Auburn, Alabama, those teams, Texas Tech, Arizona. But I feel like our defense is what gets us going. So on paper, yeah, they're pretty good. But I feel like, once we come in with that defense mentality, it's going to be a different ball game.
Jalen, it seems like all the time you guys are looked at like the underdog or something. At what point is this all gonna play out that people will maybe take you serious? I mean, like,
No, got to. I mean,
doesn't matter?
no, not at all. I mean, we're probably not the big name school or whatever. You know, we're just Houston in the third ward, so we probably don't get the respect that we need. But I think that's something that puts a fire under us and us keeping the chip on our shoulder. So going into these games, I guess being the underdogs, I mean, we'll take it. We ain't running from it.
How much is family a theme to this program?
Oh, it's big time. And I can even go back to when I first started my freshman year, at 17 years old. This is my first visit that I had set up, and I didn't take any other visits because I just felt like it was at home. So, especially starting my teammates too, I love those guys. And the coaches, they treat you like their sons. So when you have a environment and you have people that love you, you also have to be close. So this journey started back in June. You know, we've been on this path for a long time, and now we got to the last week of college. So it means a lot to me and, you know, to those guys.
You guys have the shortest road trip by far of the 4 teams. Are you expecting a home court advantage, a crowd size advantage, and does that matter to you?
I feel like it do matter, you know, because, you know, most teams feed off, you know, home energy. But we just try to focus on us. You know, the crowd's going to be there, which is a great thing. But, you know, going in, we try not to lean on that too much. And we try to stay together and don't forget where we came from and where it all started. So, especially when we played in the Big 12, being on the road, you know how crazy it can get. So, being at home is kind of a little comforting, but just going into the game with a different edge and just trying to win.
As you mentioned, you've seen a lot of really talented players over the years, but when you watch him on film, how special is Cooper Flag?
He's pretty good. I mean, projected #1 pick for a reason. You know, he does everything. I think he leads them in points, assists, rebounds, steals, basically every category. So we definitely respect Duke, you know, and everybody that we play against. But we have a lot more confidence in ourselves too, knowing that it don't matter who we play, we're gonna make the other team uncomfortable as much as we can. So, you know, kudos to them and their team and players that they got. But I feel like our players can match up with them as well.
How, you know, this team's focus, this particular group, focus and maturity, how do you think that will help with all the hoopla and the Final Four? And is this the most mature, you know, focused team you've been a part of?
Yeah, especially, you know, with LJ, he's been to the Final Four. He's won a national championship, so he's been here before. I've been in the tournament before, and Emmanuel been in the tournament. Jojo, Terrence, those guys have been here before. And the only person I probably don't think ever made it was a freshman, is Malos. But you can see right now, he's comfortable, you know, in his role, and he's been playing great. So I feel like just us being here multiple times, especially me, you know, I know how hard it is to win a game. You know, you can look at the Purdue game. You know, the game could have won anyway, but having guys that's been there before, not really that much pressure on us as much as it would be for first-year guys. So we just gotta, you know, go into that game and just settle into the fight early.
Jalen, since you've been here, this is sort of the way it's been, NCAA tournament, 2 Final Fours. And I'm curious, your first year, maybe some of the older guys, did you ever hear stories about what it was like before all this started? You know, maybe the tough times and the, you know, empty crowds and maybe this place not being here. Did any of your older teammates ever share those type of stories about where the programs come from?
A little, not too much. I feel like you're trying to call me old again. I've been hearing this
You can
all.
call me old too.
But I mean, I've heard about it, yeah, back then where, you know, coach used to walk around and trying to get guys to come to games and stuff. But, you know, I think coach did an amazing job, you know, with the whole facility and everything that comes with Houston basketball. And I talked to Galen, you know, every once in a while, and he's told me how it's been to, you know, playing at TCU and all that, not playing here. But I feel like this program has definitely came a long way, and it's always been a winning program, especially on the Coach Sampson. So, what the program is right now, I think it's only going to get better. And I've learned a lot from those guys that came before me, and guys that I played with that left. And now that I've been here for 6 years, I kind of see the ins and outs of it.
JoJo was named National Defensive Player of the Year today.
I was.
Yes, he was. What do you think about that? Yeah? And what kind of impact does he make? How would you explain that to fans?
Kind of crazy, especially being a sophomore, winning that. It's kind of crazy. But we see this every day, though. We see this in practice. We see this in our workouts. That's just the type of guy he is. And he did one. Yeah, that's big time. Yeah, that just shows how hard he plays. You know how hard he works, and the effort that he puts into defense and protecting the rim and getting rebounds, stuff they emphasize every day. So that's a major accomplishment, and that's a product of him. You know, him doing that and being active and helping us out. Kind of lets us know because we play against really good guards, and sometimes we're probably not going to be able to stay in front of those guards. But him being a rim protector kind of takes a lot of pressure off of us.
You talked about you guys having experience overall, but how valuable do you think it will be the fact that LJ has been there to the Final Four before and he knows kind of what to expect at this level?
Like you said, LJ's been here before, and we played against them, in 2021, and he's been around a lot of great guys on the team too. But I feel like LJ going into the game, having a lot of confidence in himself, knowing that he's been there before, we kind of follow him because I didn't play that much, in the Final Four, never during COVID, so it was a whole difference from then to now. Lights are brighter, stakes are higher. I feel like there's going to be more adversity, but leaning on LJ, knowing that he's a national champion, when he gets rolling, we're just going to follow him.
LJ, everyone nationally is picking Duke, or almost everyone. I mean, is it weird to be in the Final Four and still be a little underrated? How do you look at that?
I don't look at it anyway. I didn't know that until now. They can pick whoever they want. Everyone got an opinion. Everybody got a choice. So that's up to them.
Another thing that a lot of people are talking about is your chance to be the first guy to win a national championship with two different teams. Can you just discuss that opportunity and how unique it will be?
It's definitely unique. It'll be a blessing to be able to do that, but we got to take it one game at a time. We got one more game to get to that point, so we got to do what we got to do, take care of Duke, and hopefully that can happen.
Is it kind of a full circle moment to have played against Houston in the Final Four when you did win it, and then now be there with Houston?
You can look at it that way. I didn't know I was going to end up being here, so it's a blessing that I'm here right now, and then I think it's a great opportunity to be able to do it with this team and for the city that I'm from. So, yeah.
LJ, having
players on this team and coaches, family on staff, how much is family a theme for this program?
It's a big theme. We spend a lot of time together. When I first got here, I'm like, dang, we spend too much time together. We come here in the morning and sometimes don't leave till the night. So this is my family. I have my own family, a prior family too. But these guys I spend most of my time with every single day. So, I'm going to go out there and lay it all on the line for them. So, and I know they're going to do the same for me.
LJ, would you say there's a sense of unfinished business going into this game, knowing Duke was the team that knocked you out last year?
I feel like there's always a sense of unfinished business, but that was last year's team, and that don't have anything to do with this year's team because we got new guys, so I don't really look on that game too much.
Having grown up in the area and knowing about U of H even before you got here, early in high school, do you remember, this thing was just getting going, all the run. Do you remember what was the perception of U of H basketball, around that time versus, what it's become?
I don't know what the perception was as a whole for everybody, but for me, I always thought it was a good school. It was kind of an underrated school in my opinion. With it being in the American Conference and stuff like that. But I felt like it was growing. I remember going to, I think it was the first game in the Fertitta Center. I was at that game. So I've seen it grow from afar, and it's special how it is right now.
They recruit you?
Yeah, Coach Q recruited me pretty hard. At my high school, it was every week.
Did he remind you when you?
Yeah. Nah, he definitely reminds me for sure.
You know, San Antonio's not that far away. Are you thinking you're going to have a nice crowd size advantage, a home court advantage, and does that matter to you and the team?
I think we're gonna have a good turnout. You know, I feel like our fans are passionate about what we do, and we have a great fan base. And with it being the Final Four in Texas, I think they definitely gonna be loud and show out for us. And I mean, it's important to me. You know, I like feeling the love and support, and you know, momentum is big in these type of games. So, you know, hopefully we have a great turnout.
How will the focus and maturity of this particular team help deal with all the, hoopla and the stage that comes with, Final Fours? You've seen it.
I mean, with the Final Four, I feel like that's what comes with it. And we got a lot of guys that understand. With us being there, it's going to be a lot more attention, a lot more things going on around you. But, you know, you just got to stay laser focused on the main thing, which is to go out there and win the game. So I feel like that's been the mindset as a whole.
Coach Simpson said that he felt like you've really grown as a leader from the beginning of the season to now. What do you think allowed you to kind of take another step this season to be, even a better leader?
I mean, I feel like honestly it was the failure we had in the beginning of the year when we was losing games. I didn't feel like we had anybody stepping up to that role. Last year it was Jamal, and it wasn't just with his play. It was his vocal, his presence, his energy. So I feel like it was a great opportunity for me to step up, and he kind of pushed me to do it. So I thank him a lot, and you know, we're having a lot of success doing it.
Manuel, how do you think this team's maturity and focus will help on this kind of stage with all the hoopla and, everything that sort of comes with it?
It'll help a lot. We got a lot of veterans on this team, Juwan, LJ, JB, a lot of vets and guys that have been to the Final Four already, so, they know what it takes and they know what type of mindset to have.
With all of the family on staff and the players on this team, former players, how much is family a theme for this program?
It's almost the whole thing. That's why I came here in the first place, was because of the family atmosphere. I hadn't taken any more visits to any other schools. I got on one Zoom call with this staff and saw how family oriented they were, and I was sold. I didn't have to talk to anybody else, and that's why I came here. And I feel like that's the reason why we're such a great team. Is it starts with the family aspect.
Emmanuel, they're the number one ranked offense. You guys are the number one ranked defense. What kind of challenges do you feel like you're going to have preparing for the best offense, and then what kind of challenges are they going to have preparing for the best defense?
I would just say, everybody has trouble with, replicating it in practice. The guys you go against in practice aren't going to be the same guys you see on the court. You can try your best to replicate it, but it's also not the same. So, it'll be good to get out there on the court with them and, and compete.
Everyone nationally, or most people nationally, are picking Duke. I mean, do you like that you're the underdog again?
We don't really pay attention to that stuff. We kind of just focus on, what's in our bubble and what we have to do, and that's what we try to go and execute our game plan.
Final Four is just 3 hours away in San Antonio. Are you expecting a crowd size advantage or a home court advantage, and does that matter to you and the team?
It's great. It'll be great to have the fans there. We love the Cougar Nation, so we look forward to playing in front of a lot of our fans.
You're talking about a family. Can you talk about how much help you guys get from the student managers, what they do for you during the week and also in the warm-ups?
They do a lot. They help us not even with just on the court, anything that we need. While we're in the locker room, they help us with it. They're the first to do anything for us that we ask, and they're great. They help us. They rebound for us, and they're a huge part of the program, which is a great question because not a lot of people talk about it.
Is this the best you felt all season, health-wise? And
Yeah. I'm finally feeling close to 100%. Still got some knick-knack injuries, but that's everybody at this time of the year. It's the end of the season. Promise you, nobody really cares whether somebody's hurt or not. It's just about us going and competing.
How much does it help to have this extra few days where you have like Purdue and this versus the quick turnaround, like 24 hours learning team?
It's good. We get to watch more film, more time to prepare. It's just a better setup overall.
What are your impressions? I mean, you watched them during the year, but of this Duke team and, biggest challenges?
They're a great team. They got a lot of guys that can create. They have a well put together team with a great coaching staff, and they've done a great job all year. They've been good defensively, offensively, which is why they're such a dangerous team. So we got to be prepared.
How important is the running back mentality? Is that real in your locker room coming up against Duke again? Took us out in the Sweet 16. You're hearing about it in the media.
I mean, I guess, but we don't really pay attention to get back or pay back. It's a new year, new team on both sides. We don't have the same team as last year. They got new guys, so stuff from last year doesn't really have anything to do with this year. But we know they're a great program, and we have a lot of respect for them.
Thought about, being on this stage, growing up and, when you're at Oklahoma, what does it mean to, be here now? And,
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty special. I feel like we got a special team this year, and it's paying off. All the hard work we put in since June, I feel like it's paying off. So.
I know it's your first year here, but how have you seen LJ kind of develop or improve as a leader just in the time that you've been here?
Yeah, I've realized a lot with his emotions. He's starting to show a lot more emotions throughout the year. You can just tell how bad he wants to win, and that just travels along with everybody else. Like when our leader wants to win, it inspires everybody else to keep going too. So he's been doing a great job.
What is it about Emmanuel that makes him able to hit those pressure shots? What do you think it is that sort of separates him as a shooter in those situations?
His confidence. He's super fearless. He believes any shot he shoots once he passes half court is going in, and so do I. So I mean, I feel like along with the work he puts in, he can make those shots. So you got to shoot them.
You talked before the tournament started about how when you decided to come here was when maybe Kellen told you, like, we're not here to just win games, we're here to win championships. And now that you're at this place, is this exactly how you imagine this going?
I mean, not really. At first, when he told me that, I just loved like what he said. About like most teams are trying to make it to the tournament. That's what I was used to. And then him saying like we're trying to win it all. That's really what brought my attention. And then when I got here, I realized how everyone is so bought in, and everyone's all about winning. So
almost everyone nationally so far has picked Duke to win this game. Who's made a pick. I mean, is it weird to be at the Final Four and maybe feel like people are still underrating you a little?
I mean, it don't really matter, honestly. I feel like as long as the people in that locker room believe, that's all that matters.
I've already asked three of your teammates this, but San Antonio is not far away. Do you think you'll have a crowd size advantage, a home court advantage, and does that matter to you and the team?
For sure. Yeah, I think we'll have a little home court advantage. I expect to see a lot of red in that crowd. And I think that definitely plays a role as well. Purdue had an advantage, so did Tennessee, so now it's our turn.
Good.
Okay.
Is there a team that's comparable that you guys have played this year? Is it Alabama or
To them?
To Duke?
Yeah. I mean, they don't really run a lot of ball screens, like from what we just watched. Space the floor out. They don't really have a point guard. They're unique in a way. They're a little different. They got a bunch of scorers out there who can make plays for each other. But yeah, I mean, it'll be an exciting game. I'm excited to go compete.
Well, those considering we here in Houston, I'm Houstonian, and man, we remember Clyde, we remember Dream. You're young, so I don't know if you remember those days.
Sure.
But is there anything in the locker room? Do you guys speak about that? Like, it's a great tradition here, and it's been over 30 years since we've been, as Houstonians, standing in this position. Is there any talk about that in the locker room?
I mean, for sure. They paved the way for sure. But right now, I mean, we're focused on the present. We're trying to go get it done for the city and for us as well. So I mean,
Milos, you came here, you wanted to win a national title. It was kind of the goal. And what Kelvin told you, this is a school that has gotten close a lot. now 7 Final Fours. They've been the runner-up a couple times. They've never actually finished the job. What would it mean to be part of the team that can get it done for the first time in this program?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, it'd mean a lot. It'd be special for the program to know the type of work that we put in. Yeah, we just got to go do it. We got to go get it. So.
What makes you believe that this team has the chance to finish the job?
I just think we're super consistent. I feel like throughout the whole year, we've always just been ourselves. We haven't tried to be out the box or play like any other style. I just think we've been ourselves the whole year. So I think just staying consistent is super key to it.
Have guys like LJ and Juwan, who've been in a Final Four before, they talked to you at all, what to expect, or have you guys talked about that much?
Not really. I mean, shoot, growing up, I watched the games as well, so I mean, I'm able to see what the crowd's like. But regardless, we're playing on a 94-foot court with 10-foot hoops, so the crowd, it's going to be to our advantage, but it really shouldn't play a factor.
JoJo was named the National Defensive Player of the Year earlier. What are your initial thoughts on that, and how hard is it to go against him in practice?
Yeah, no, it's deserving. I feel like JoJo should have won that. What he does, if you just watch him defensively, the mistakes that the guards make, he holds us up and he helps us out with that a lot. So I mean, if we get blown by, he's in the paint protecting it. So, nah, JoJo's really good, man. I'm happy for him for sure.
Milos, how would you describe your first 4 games in the NCAA tournament? How would you assess your performances so far?
My first games?
Like your first 4, just overall.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they went pretty well. We got 4 dubs, so that's all that matters.
Milos, they did it to you, but I wanted to ask you about the talent thing you guys have been doing, like the last couple games and post games. Like, kind of OKC started it, but like, when did you guys start doing it?
I just think these dudes play all the time. It's probably just us playing around. They was trying to put Juan started. I feel like he tried to put the towel over my head or something, and then E-Man with all the hats on top of him. So I mean, I feel like this group really enjoys being around each other, and moments like that you guys could tell. So.
When you guys got back from Vegas and 4-3, you had that sort of hell week there.
For sure.
Did you still believe? Did you still always think this was possible, or what was going through your mind?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like I never lost belief. I know we played 2 really good teams out there, and then San Diego State's a good team as well. But I feel like we lost that game because we lost to Bama. No, I never lost confidence. I knew this team was special. We needed to grow and we needed to learn. So I feel like we've learned a lot from those losses.
Anything else for Milos? Milos, I asked this just because I have to go to the mall and do. What are the things on your shoes there?
What, the Crocs?
Gibbets.
Yeah. What are the?
Giblets?
Yeah. What do you got going there?
Nah, these just the go-tos. I wear these every day.
Is that like Cinnamon Toast Crunch or something? Or?
Yeah, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. When I first got them, they came in like a little cereal box, and then they have a little smell to it. You know what I'm saying?
See you in that eye.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.